This is your weekend market recap for Saturday, April 4th, 2022. Let's go. This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is my stock, Bitcoin, gold, and silver daily market recaps. Please subscribe if you like what you see. Thank you. This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your weekend market recap for, April 1st, 2022. Let's get into it. First, start off in the Discord room. If you have any questions about this video, any thoughts about the markets, trading, need help, you know where to find us. Link is in the description below. There's a lot of insight here in the side channels. If you are newer to trading and you have particular questions about things, come here, check it out, see what you see. If you have questions, again, I don't mind helping people who are searching for answers. If they're asking for the easy answer without really doing any research, it's kind of hard because then the meaning of the answer doesn't mean as much. On that note, again, the Discord room, I see you there, Rata Khan. Of course I know the XLU is at all-time high. That's why I'm buying the TLT, bro. Wink, wink. Anyway, yeah, so on that note, let's get into Bitcoin as we always start on the weekend. What did we say? 35,000, 45,000. Broke out. Volume was crap. We pulled back. Now you got to watch. This is a game. This is a game of chicken buyers and sellers. You have, now pretend this was all one day. It would have a long wick up and you have a long wick down. You know, pretend again like this is all one candle and you were right there, flat closing around 46,000. This is what happens sometimes on breakouts. You back test the top. So if you have any questions, you have to keep an eye on this. Like, this market ultimately is one of those things where just in general there's going to be volatility naturally, so just keep an eye on it. I'm not too bearish, not too bullish. This is really indecision action. If you can zoom out, you just, like I said, higher wicks on each side, potentially on the weekly candle, just getting choppy. Be safe, be smart. That's all I got for you. Let's get into the names that we love to trade and things that we watch daily. Hello, TLT. If you weren't around this morning, I'm going to have to explain this trade. So we know the first day of the quarters today, right? TLT gaps down on the supposedly great jobs number. Great. Remember, these numbers are looking backwards. Keep that in mind. If you have that understanding, you know this is backward data. Do you think the economy is getting stronger or weaker at this point? Do you think inflation is going to be hurting jobs, wages, all this kind of crap? I would imagine it's the future pricing that mechanism it's going to be weaker. And again, that's why I'm predicting rates to get lower. I don't think the market can sustain this stuff. As we talked about, 100-month, yada, 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 repeat of the same thing every video. However, what did we do this morning? We isolated the range lows. And again, on my other charts, I had this area as support potentially. Nothing crazy in the sense that if we got down here, I was going to buy. And the only reason why it seems very logical sometimes to someone like me versus other people's, I can zoom out and see what this would look like. This kind of looks like a head, like a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. And now if you pull up the chart on like the daily, you can kind of see the action is, you know, remove this candle sometimes. I know that's hard to understand, but this choppiness is typically what happens at a bottom. Notice here, before we even popped, you had like this, you know, you had a left shoulder, a head, and then you tested back. Now, is this the degree of the move, 136 to say 142, 8 points? Maybe. Who knows? But I do know that things like to chop out. And so the first day of the quarter, I'm expecting potentially oversold action to be bought. And we gapped down. And it just, in my mind, it was a very simple trade. You buy down here in the mid, not even mid, it was almost basically 130 area. And you set a stop. And look what happened. It ripped right back. The volume wasn't amazing, but the trade was, again, understood because I know how retests happen. I don't expect just straight line moves. And sometimes straight line moves happen. That's just the biggest worry. But coming off the bottom, these backups, those are where people who are looking to cover their shorts, potentially buy, become more aggressive. So it's obviously, usually, as I say, the best time to buy is the backup, the second high, just the best to short, the retest or the lower or the higher low, or any retest potentially. because then now you can buy it with a very, 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 very tight stop. And that is how you trade, with tight risk parameters, and you put the risk and the reward in your favor, and you're not chasing. Hope that helps. Again, let me preface this again. And 20 day, we need to clear the 20 day. That's the high of the day today. Notice we couldn't get over it. Same thing on this whole like channel down. The 20 day, once it broke, has become resistance. You've gotten over it temporarily, but you've gotten back under it. Now again, the 50 day will be the next channel high, 136. Now if you bought in the 130 area, gives you a safe landing pad to start taking some off and expect maybe the 140s. It's just that simple. Maybe TLT goes crazy. I don't know. The feds really want people to buy bonds. They do not want interest rates higher because it will fook the banks. Anyway, let's check out the dollar. Again, not that crazy. The volatility is pretty tight, staying tight in a range. I don't care about it unless it's moving. VIX. Let's get in this because now we're getting into some seasonal times that matter. April is usually a strong month. However, we have had a literal VIX termination. I don't think that's going to sustain. I think there's going to be a VIX bounce. How high? Mid-20s would be my minimum guess. Typically, let's look at last April. What did we have? Going into the early mid-quarter, then it started to spike. Now, that was a bounce, and then we went lower. Keep in mind, how much lower could the VIX go, in my opinion, with what's going on in the world? I mean, we're looking close to the floor. 16 would be my max downside with the VIX. Let's keep that in mind so as we roll into the SPY. Now, seasonality, typically bullish, right? April, no doubt. Not going to argue that. However, this straight line move up, it's going to proceed chop to drop or chop to rise higher. How you decide to play the chop and short it like we did is on you. And this is where all or nothing trading helps you out, is that if you shorted with the novice gap, we sold we sold naked calls in the 446. You can play, like you could have taken some profits on Monday if you expect a chop back. I expect a chop back, but guess what? I could be wrong. I'm playing probabilities. Remember, chop back, top, chop back. I mean, that is always in the cards. And then you go from there. So if you decided to get in your short, you took some off, you're looking for a re-entry, you put some in your pocket, and you're also now waiting for the best prices. Now, if it just falls off a cliff, bonus for your short-term stuff. But if it pops, you can short it and get back into it. I am anticipating, again, typically there's a blackout, a buyback blackout period before during earnings. Earnings season starts shortly, so keep in mind, companies can't buy back their stock during their earnings season. It's usually like a 6-week period, and we're getting there. So if we pull back some, this would probably seem very obvious to most folks, but this 440 level would be probably the first bounce, like major bounce zone. I know the 200-day, but I would look at it like this, because let's draw some little, let's make sure you see the fibs, the in-between fibs. Sometimes the fibs matter. Well, there's just way too many fibs on here. Let me clear this one out. Yeah, and it looks between the 0.382 and the 0.5 seem very logical. So hope this helps on the SPY. Let's roll into the Qs, because again, we are bearish, not because of anything other than overbought sentiment. Everyone's bullish, hitting resistance. We said the 100 and 200 day was going to act like a wall. It did. Backed up. We closed, I wouldn't say badly. Obviously, if you're a bull, you like to see the long wick. I mean, clearly new money came in to square out the end of the day. Also, there was some selling. Look at this area as your first support. Keep all of this in mind, because I hate when people get into a trade and they freak the fuck out because they don't expect chop. They don't expect chop. Like, they're all just hoping for the V bottom, which, you know, you can consider this like a nice hard bottom, but there was always that backup. Even up here at chop, at this top, chop, 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 chop. A lot of chop. And again, here's the short-term bottom. Look how you had a double bottom. Again, here was a short-term bottom. Notice how you had some backup to test it. Just keep that in mind. There's the V bottoms are bullshit. W's, M's, head and shoulders, channely, choppy bottoms like this here. 1, 2, 3. That's how you bottom, okay? Just don't ever get that twisted. If you want to see V bottoms, start running your probabilities, and you'll see, like, Here's a V top in the IWM. The odds of that, 1 out of 10. Are you not noticing, like, as we look, here's a chop top, here's a chop top, here's a choppy bottom, here's a choppy bottom. See how that works? IWM, we talked about novice gap again, going up to the 100-day, close enough, backing off, not surprised. Long term, again, since it is the weekly, let me pull up the SPY weekly. You can see what is going on here. I posted this on the Discord room, and I said, watch out for the 20 week closing under it. We closed right at it with a doji. That is not bullish, y'all. That is not bullish. This looks like a bull trap. Where does that take us potentially if you want to go weekly? I would assume, keep it really simple, I'd assume somewhere the 100 week. That's how I'd look at it. QQQ. Apologize, didn't do this the first time through. Weekly. Same shit. See how we held the 100 week on the Qs? What do we do? Hit the 20-day, backing off. Beware. When in doubt, I always tell people, zoom out. Holding the 20-month for now. But look where we've come from. This is a steep Mount Everest. I don't know if the market has the capacity to continue to incline. It's more likely the backside. And if it is the backside is better for surfing down, as you guys know. Keep it simple. We'll see what happens here. At this point, again, I mean, it's going to be choppy. It's a year ending in 2. The fall is usually when the shitstorm hits the fan. So, GLD. Talked about this. Broke the trend line. Not as much as the trend line, but just this was the blowout move. Now it needs to digest. The second quarter is typically shitty. If I had to guess how to draw what's going to happen, it's going to look like this for... Well, in the next couple months. Show me June. June's out to here. Okay. If I had to guess, it's going to be choppy, sloppy, then boom, up into June and whatnot. That's my guess. Because getting over this and working off this overbought condition when all these bulls, chop would be ideal. Now, most people would hate that because they hate chop, but think about like the monthly moves. Choppy, up, choppy. Like, chop happens, man. And are we ready to break out over the old highs? We didn't do it the first time. So what you want to see, and pretend you were trading the monthly, you'd want to see high and tight. And that's where I say choppiness. Like, let this thing consolidate right under the highs, and it will absolutely go apeshit higher later. Keep that in mind. Silver. Said the 200-day, watch that area. Homies in the Discord rooms, same thing. I expect very similar action. Not that I'm bearish, but we're not really breaking the downtrend, but silver's acting a little better. So what I could see, if silver in the market, say the market's floating sideways to holding up, I think you could very easily see an action of chop, then boom. Because I don't want to say this is the top, but look what is happening here in the near term. Like, we're not, again, whether it's the manipulation of the silver freaking cartel, I assume that's what they're doing. I don't know why this wouldn't come back down to the lows. If we can't get to the highs, you come back to the lows, the test. And when you usually test levels like that, it's to test commitment. We'll see what happens. Be smart, please. Be safe. Do not go nuts into silver. And again, I'd rather be late on the breakout. If it's going to break out, then try to buy it, and predict what's going to happen in between the swing points. Here's your swing low channel, and I'll just draw this so that people can see it. And this is your swing upper channel. Until you get up here, you don't know. Like, this in-between shit can be a total time killer, and also just in general be amazing. Sorry, continuing on with silver here. It's just I know how silver can be, and what sucks is that it looked like it was going to go higher, but way too many idiots jumped in, and it got way too hot, became too advertised, too obvious, too, what's the best way to describe it? Like, too mainstream. What I want to see when silver's really ready to go is actually nobody talk about it. I want to see silver just climb that ladder of worry that no one believes. I don't think we're there yet. It's going to take some time. I'd hate to see it get back to the 20s, but also would like to see it. It would be an obvious buy. Be safe. Again, if you have to wait, and say you want to buy, like you just don't want to be early, it's pretty simple. Just wait. I know that sounds nuts. Just wait for the previous high at 24.88 to be taken out. Then you can go up to 28 pretty quickly, I would think. GDX. Back up at the highs. Now I know a lot of people are saying, well, hey, you're bearish here and it's holding the 20-day. The only reason why I am not bullish more is because of the seasonality, like taking some profits. When I look out, I say, all right, we're coming into the old highs up here. You see everyone, I mean, you can see it here. It's an old fib. It's major resistance. We tested it last month. Do we, how easy is it going to be to get over it? I don't know. I will say, though, if it does, the upside is a couple more points, which is fine. I mean, and I'm not really going to be too concerned about those couple of points. If it goes higher, awesome. At this point, this candle is saying, fuck you, GDX. Like, that's not good. So I'll see if it gets invalidated, but at this point, I'm not bullish. I'm more neutral. I'm expecting chop. GDXJ, which, again, here has a fuck you candle. And also, this is the biggest issue here, is it's lagging. Usually the junior miners lead the large miners if the move is really sustainable. Keep in mind, the juniors are the most leveraged. If you're not paying attention to that and you just realize that, there you go. This video is worth its weight in gold just on that. AEM holding the 20-day. Again, could it break out? This thing is way underperforming. I could see it getting up to the 0.618. As you can see, there's resistance up here. There's a gap. It's been lagging. AG, here's another one. Now, this is the thing. When I look at silver, I need to see AG like acting like a boss. It is lagging. I would think silver, it would be back up in the 14s. It's not. It's holding trend. I don't anticipate it to go anywhere anytime soon. Quickly, I don't know if this is like some crazy ass big head and shoulders pattern sometimes, which makes me think it get back into the 10 range. I don't know. At this point, as you guys can see on the daily, and you can see it here on the monthly, you got to get over this 14s, mid 14s. Like if you can't get over it, it's not going to go. PAAS, Pan American Silver, same thing, lagging, going nowhere. Let's get into materials names. Now, again, if you're annoyed that these videos are long, well, guess what? You skip around, descriptions below. I think the stuff is well worth talking about nice and slowly. X, we talked about this. The monthly, the 200 month, who's going to act as resistance. Now, could it get over it to flop? I don't know. I'm just expecting, again, this is a incredibly strong move that is not sustainable. Draw the fibs. You see what happens. Look in the 30 area for the next buy. If it goes higher, come back to it later on a dip. It's not like we're giving up on it. VALE, nice little pop today. It's been lagging. Again, filled the gap back at the highs. Is it breaking out? I don't know. That volume is kind of suspect on the first day of the month. I would think it'd have more, but watch out. You break over the 21 area, it can go higher. That's all you need to know. And if it doesn't, be on red alert to trail stop your holdings. CCJ, here's an example of trail stopping. Like, we got back up to the high, and what happened? Pulled right back. That is not bullish. In the meantime, again, I think long term the stuff is majorly bullish, but it's going to pull back, I think. Mosaic, we've talked about this one over and over and over again. I liked it down here, didn't really get a chance for the retest, and it went banging higher. I can't chase it now. I'll wait for it to pull back. CF, keep it simple, stupid. Here you go, 20-day. Again, channel high. I'm not anticipating this to go higher. I'd love to see it down in the mid 70s, upper 70s. Let's get into tech, because this is the easiest shit to me right now to short. Look at AMD, got up into the 125, talked about retesting. I mean, it got a downgrade and absolutely slammed. Again, the V top, very rare. Notice how we had a chop bottom. Very happy about the downgrade. Took some profits, made decent amount of coin on this one. Apple, this was hard. Novice gap, thought it could get up here. Ultimately broke, had a downgrade below the 8-day. At this point, your first target is the upper 160s. Just have that in your brain. Don't get tunnel vision. It could bounce from there, and then after that, we'll see. There was some bad data, or they released some interesting information after the close about shortages because of materials and not being able to sell their phones, which I'm not surprised. Let's get into the next group of tech junkies. Sorry, MicroStrategy. What have we said? If Bitcoin's topping, this is a problem. Hit the 100-day. At this point, get over the 100-day. And you're good. If it can't get over the 100-day, be mindful. Just be mindful. Senior Roblox moves a lot. keep talking about the upper range here at 52 and the 20-day. I'm anticipating at some point this is a buy. I think it might have to come back to the lows in the mid 30s. If it does, keep an eye on it. Keep an absolute eye on it. Tesla, where are you, Tessie? Again, these stocks, I just don't want to own them. I mean, we're up in here into some areas that matter. Is this the novice gap? All this indecision. Someone's selling in these last couple days. It's not acting strong, but it also is holding up. It's tough to know. I mean, it's very binary. I tell people again, if you're trading this thing, just beware. Like, I don't think this is sustainable, which it wasn't, which I think will ultimately be a bigger pullback in time. When is that time? I don't know, but it will be choppy and sloppy. So trade it accordingly. Don't be the one who thinks it's going to 5,000. That stuff is like, man, it takes time to digest. PENN Gaming, the March Madness play that never happened in March, went sideways. Talking about sideways action is what it is. Can't get over the 20-day. Just, it's so freaking brutal. EXPI, oh, this is a gift down here. Getting down towards 20. Talking about it. You know, everybody's getting crazy about housing. We're doing well. I work for EXPI. I'm watching this 20 area. Again, I get shares through my transactions. I buy more every time, so I've got a decent amount. I love to buy it down here. Is getting it back to 90 anytime soon? Probably not in the near term. But keep in mind, it is a good company. It does have good fundamentals, but have stops first. UTHR, your homie here. Hello. What did I say? Watch the 170s. This is a biotech company. Doesn't give a shit about the market. What could happen? I feel like that's a professional gap. It's going. Predicted this in the 190s. If you're trading this, stop by the Discord room. Give me a shout out, because that's a nice coattail to ride on that. Like DRIP, which we are buying through the XOP short. Keep in mind, chopping at highs. You're at the 100-month. You're hitting our target. It's been a rocket ship in the sense that it's gone 88 to 138, pricing in higher oil. Oil prices have not been making higher highs. One of these has to give. Either oil's about to rip higher or this is about to get smoked. And I'm playing it through DRIP. You can play it XOP other ways. Notice, again, they had the reverse split. Typically at reverse splits, market makers have to absorb those shares. At some point, they're going to want to unload them to somebody. Last but not least, Exxon Mobil. This is another reason why I'm bearish. Oil service. This thing is acting crappily. As the leader of the sector, talked about this VAP zone. We talked about, man, if it could break over the 80s, high 80s, it couldn't. It backed up. Want to see the back test. Be safe when trading. If you have questions, stop by the Discord room. The stuff is not easy. No one knows anything for certain. I'm just projecting potential plays out here. Again, as someone who's thinking that oil ultimately will pull back, the market ultimately might pull everything back with it, even the things that have been leading. Hope this helps. Talk to you later.
Thanks for watching. For more trading knowledge and insight, click on the videos on the right, and also join the Discord room. Link is in the description below. If you have any questions, please stop on by the Discord room and let's chat. Thank you.